Hello everybody, welcome back to SHARIQ Immigration's video channel, the go-to place for all your Canadian immigration needs. So in today's video, the topic that we're going to discuss is express entry overview. Now if you are a skilled professional anywhere in the world and you're considering immigrating to Canada, then express entry application or system would be on top of your mind because it is very well known. Just an introduction about myself. I'm Hassan Shariq, a Canadian licensed immigration consultant based in Mississauga, and through my social media channels, I'll talk about various aspects of Canadian immigration. So let's start with an overview on express entry. And let me introduce what express entry is. Express entry is a point-based immigration system designed to select skilled workers for permanent residency into Canada. The process involves various steps, and understanding each one is crucial for a successful application because you'll know what to do and what not to do. One thing I must clarify here, that express entry is not an immigration or a PR category itself. Rather, it is just an application management system through which various PR streams, applications are handled. Let's first have a look at the eligibility for express entry because this is very important. This is going to be the starting step. You'll see if you meet the basic eligibility or how would you meet the basic eligibility. When we're talking of express entries eligibility, there are three major eligibility requirements, and these are fundamental. You cannot proceed further if you do not meet even one out of these three. The first one is the skilled work experience. You must have a minimum of 1 year full-time work experience wherever in the world you're working, you're doing a job, but it has to be equivalent of 1 year work experience. If you've just recently started and you haven't finished this requirement. Second is the language ability. To be eligible for express entry, you have to show proof of proficiency in English or French language, as both these are official languages of Canada. To do so, you will be required to take one of the designated tests. And say for instance, if you're taking IELTS, which most of my viewers would be doing, you are expected to have a score of 6 in each module of the general testing. Next up is the requirement of education, eligibility requirement of education. Now, to be eligible for express entry, you must have an education which is equivalent to a Canadian high school. In most countries, this means that you have completed your studies up until grade 12. Keep in mind that if you do not have this level of education, then you cannot apply under express entry. But having just a high school education doesn't mean that you will get invited for PR. So it's just meeting the eligibility requirement. Let's now come to Comprehensive Ranking System or CRS. Now, I'd say the heart of the express entry system lies in Comprehensive Ranking System, or what is commonly known as CRS. Every now and then you will hear that there was an express entry draw and the cutoff CRS was say 400 or 350 or something. CRS score is allocated on the basis of various factors, which include age, your level of education, your language proficiency, your length of work experience, which you've accumulated within Canada or outside of Canada. If you are married, in that case, the level of education and language proficiency of your spouse can impact your CRS score as well. We'll not go into the details, but it does impact. If you have siblings who are Canadian PR or citizens, that impacts your CRS. If you have a Canadian job offer from an eligible employer, that impacts. If you've had a provincial nomination, if you've had Canadian education, in that case, you also get some points. Now keep in mind the maximum CRS points are 1200 In most cases, people score below 600 because the top 600 are only allocated if you get a provincial nomination. Now let's have a look at the steps. So once you've completed your language test and you have an educational credential assessment, or you have Canadian education, that is when you can create an express entry profile. And this makes you become an applicant under the program. How do people get selected? So what happens is that you create an express entry profile wherein you get a CRS score based on all the various aspects that I mentioned. You are part of the express entry pool. This is where the Department of Immigration of Canada, commonly known as IRCC, conducts various draws from within the pool, and based on whatever selection criteria they have, they invite the top ranking candidates and invite them to apply for PR application, commonly known as ITA. So this is the process of getting invited. Now, once you get invited, you have another 60 days to submit your application with all the supporting documentation based on the claim that you made. And usually it takes about 2 to 6 months for IRCC to process your application. Once you get that, that is when you can move to Canada as a permanent along with your family. So this is a very brief overview of what express entry is. There are many more details related to express entry, such as the details on the CRS score, how it is calculated, how you can improve it, how to create the profile in actual, how to get your foreign education assessed for CRS calculation, and much more. I will share videos on all these in coming days on my channel. So I would suggest that you should right away subscribe and follow my YouTube and Facebook channel, SHARIQ Immigration, and press the bell icon so that you keep getting all these updates. If you're interested in Canadian immigration, then in the comment section do post as to which category are you looking at, so that we can then make videos on that topic in future. With this, I will ask for leave and pray that you and your loved ones stay well wherever you are. We'll meet you again in another video on Canadian immigration matters. Take care and stay blessed.